Hello lovely people, my name is Stephen Colber. My topic for today is essentially instructional video is the core skill set for teachers. And that's if you're aiming to achieve a sort of constructivist approach, if you're aiming for flipped learning, blended learning, if you're aiming to produce an online course or online course content, if you're doing learning design. To me, instructional video is the core element of that. If you've ever done, an online course that's entirely text-based, it kind of gives you flashbacks to uni, or maybe when I went to uni, which was, not that long ago. And so to me, a really good online course, really good online learning of any form really involves video. So you can't, in my eyes, you can't do it without it until we get some, fancy way to do, some kind of online video conferencing that isn't boring or something. Or until we get, AR, VR, some kind of futuristic way for us to interact and to engage with content. To me, as long as we're thinking HTML, we're thinking online learning, we're thinking instructional video. So this is just a short little 10 to 15 minute me trying to sell you on the concept of instructional video. I probably won't spend too much time on this because, due to COVID, for us teachers at least, we went remote learning. But for anyone, basically, we all had to find a way to communicate and collaborate via video. So I'm not going to spend too much time sort of selling the concept, but rather what I'm going to say is that this session is a very short little taster of what I hope we can work through in the much longer workshop session, which will be to follow. So in terms of the selling, my sell is instructional video is the key. But not many of us do it very well. The video you're watching right now probably isn't the best example of, instructional video at its finest. But to me, you think about pretty important things like length. You think about the engaging nature of the presenter, which on a good day perhaps I am, not today. I'll leave that for you to decide. You're thinking about basically what kind of technology can sit behind your decision making when you're choosing what form of video to make. So I've been making instructional videos for about 4 years. I've just hit about 500,000 views on those. Teaching books, novels. I'm an English teacher myself by trade, and sort of professional development is the kind of thing that I make videos about most. And so to me, I feel like through my engagement with the literature especially, so reading, cognitive load theory, multimedia cognitive load theory, or whatever the correct nomenclature for that is, reading a lot about flipped learning, blended learning, all those sort of concepts sort of inform my practices and my understandings. Perhaps the videos I produce don't always meet the more stringent requirements of those things, but that is certainly my goal, and I think I at least have the knowledge to impart to those who might be willing to sort of level up their instructional video game, I guess. So to me, instructional video, super key. But just like remote learning, emergency learning, blended learning, flipped learning, there's layers and levels to it. I'm definitely not, fully formed in any of these areas. I haven't mastered or, nailed all or any of these techniques individually, but I think I have a little bit of a level of insight that might be useful. So, the basic idea is we'll have a quick Q&A following this short video presentation. And the idea is I'll set you up with a playlist of videos that I had professionally produced that sort of explain instructional video, the whys, the hows, the whens, the whats. And between now and the workshop session, if you have a chance to watch that playlist, or even better, to actually try out producing your own instructional videos, or if you've already done some of this stuff, I'm not presuming we're starting from a sort of baseline. As I said, during remote COVID learning, whatever you want to call it, everyone made some sort of video. Whether they recorded it or not and made it, available to everyone, as I tend to do, is a different thing. But you at least know how to present to a camera, to a webcam, to no one else being in the room, those sort of things. And I think that's a really important key skill set for all of our kind of online learning, to be able to present, even if there's no one actually there to kind of engage with the things that we're doing. So, 3 things which I just hashed out very roughly. The first thing is there'll be links to a playlist that you can watch. I think it only takes 30 minutes or less, so it's not like a course or a quiz or anything time consuming. You could probably just listen to it as you drive around in your car or go for a wander or whatever. Second thing, either take some time between now and the workshop session, which I would love for you to attend, and put together a video. If you haven't made one yet, record yourself using whatever means are sort of most natural to you. Think of what technology you use already, what you have sitting in your pocket or your bag, as it were. Using just that technology, make a short little instructional video, or if you have already made some, so during remote learning, during COVID, or even predating that, if you've made videos already, what I would love for you to do is share those with me, either via links. So basically, I'll provide links to all of these things. Obviously, I'm not just expecting you to magically, miraculously send me something. But basically, send me a link or share the file with me. I'll give you all the necessary places for those to go. And then the idea is between this session and the workshop session that I would love for you to sort of follow up from this session to attend, we'll have some time to kind of go through in a lot more detail the research, the sort of forms of video and the technology that might be possible. But since it's a workshop, basically I'm trying to replicate a face-to-face experience as best as that's possible. And, let's hope that it is. So during that session, we'll be watching one another's videos. I'll give you some frameworks, some thinking structures to kind of get you questioning not necessarily perhaps the quality, perhaps the utility, perhaps the length, perhaps the duration, a whole range of different factors, which I'll explain in a lot more detail during the workshop. We'll be watching one another's videos, and we'll be sort of linking those to what we know about the research and what we know about best practice in instructional video. So if you have time between now and then, it'd be great to see some shared examples. I guess we could probably go through my examples if none are forthcoming, but that's probably not as useful of a learning experience. So this one is very much me talking to you. Then we'll have a quick Q&A, and I'll set you up with the links and things and the kind of follow-up information that you might need. And then during the workshop, we've got a really big block of time where we can have as much of a dialogic process as possible. So asking questions, you can explain things to me, you can teach me, I'll teach you. We'll sort of do a real collaborative process. So I'm conscious I haven't done an amazing job of sort of synthesizing anything or selling the idea of instructional video to you. I think that's already more or less been done by the recent events of 2020 for all the good and the bad that has come from that. So I'm leaving that more or less to one side. If you can, do those three things, and we'll reconvene during the workshop. I'll be around for some questions and answers following this, but the goal is to share and collaborate with me and one another on some examples, and to spend the workshop sort of going through those with a fine-tooth comb and thinking about what other things we might be able to do and how we can improve our instructional video, us personally and the broader community as well. So that might be something we might want to touch on, how you might develop this capability in staff and how you might build that into a school or a learning institution. Everything's on the table. I'm very flexible and open to responding to the people who attend the workshop. So thank you for your time, and let's jump into some Q&A. Cheers.